Welcome to this week's Construction Bulletin on Africa, brought to you by Construction Review, Africa's leading construction journal. I'm James Mwaura. In this week's news, Chinese farms partner to build Kenya's largest solar plant, South Sudan to build highway connecting Kenya, Arua uncovers structure plan for model city, DRC revises plans to build the Inga 3 hydropower plant, and Cape Town's soon-to-be tallest skyscraper aims for Green Star rating. Welcome. We begin our bulletin in Kenya, where Chinese photovoltaic manufacturer Jinko Solar Holding has joined forces with China Jiangxi Corporation to build a 50-megawatt solar power plant in Kenya. The facility, which is expected to be the largest grid-connected solar power plant in the country, will occupy 200 acres near Garissa town in the northeastern province. According to a statement from the companies, the plant will produce about 76,470 megawatt hours per year, while reducing carbon emissions by 64,190 tons annually and saving coal consumption by 24,470 tons per year. Kang Ping Chen, CEO of Jinko Solar, said with an arid climate and a vast desert landmass, Garissa is geographically optimal for harnessing solar power. He added that by cooperating with CJIC, they expect this project to provide Jinko Solar with future opportunities in Kenya's solar power plant industry. CJIC's general manager said through this cooperation, they hope to build a long-term relationship to harness their unique advantages and open a new chapter for the construction of PV power plants in Africa. Under the agreement, technical support will be provided to the project by NYSE-listed Jinko Solar, who are also the preferred module supplier to CJIC, who are working on the power construction. The solar project comes at a time when Kenya is aggressively seeking alternative power sources to supplement unreliable hydropower and expensive diesel-generated thermal power, which is often turned on during the dry seasons. Now over to South Sudan, where South Sudan's Minister of Roads and Bridges, Ger Chuang-Along, has announced the government's plan to connect South Sudan and neighboring Kenya with a highway in order to boost economic activities between the two neighboring countries. The highway will connect Juba, the new country's capital, and Nandipol at the two countries' common border. Along further explained the importance of the project, saying it will be economically viable and boost economic activities as commodities shall be ferried from the Kenyan port of Mombasa into South Sudan in larger volumes and shorter period. Currently, South Sudan is a consumer country with almost no exports. Along said the plan will be supported jointly with the World Bank and the Kenyan government, saying a meeting was already held by the three bodies to implement the project. The highway project, which he said will be implemented in 2013, will be the second all-weather asphalt highway after the over 100-kilometer Juba-Nimule Road, which was the first highway in South Sudan inaugurated last month. The Juba-Nimule Highway was funded and implemented by the United States Agency for International Development and connects South Sudan to Uganda. Now in Uganda, a new structure plan to turn Arua into a model ecotourism city has been unveiled. The plan highlights the preservation of nature while simultaneously stimulating economic vibrancy by tapping into opportunities at the strategic border location. The plan is proposed to be implemented on the 700-acre Barifa land, a central forest reserve on the town's eastern outskirts that Arua Municipal Council is seeking to degazette. Planned clearance of the forest has been hindered by the Municipal Council's inability to prepare a structure plan and carry out related environmental impact assessments as required by the National Forest Authority. Municipal officials already bought a larger tract of alternative land in Logiri to relocate Barifa Forest, a precondition for degazettement. The new land use plan, which is still a subject of public consultation, has been prepared by Joda Capital Infrastructure Partners, a business consortium owned by engineer Joel Aita and DMA Capital Group's chief executive Dennis Aliga. Both consultants hail from Arua and say they did the structure plan and the required environmental impact assessment for free as a contribution to the town's expansion. This would have otherwise have cost the municipality an estimated 500,000 Uganda shillings. Presenting the plan's business case during a public consultation in Kampala, Mr. Aliga said they project the land in Barifa Forest, if gazetted, could yield at least 2,000 commercial plots. Total overhead infrastructure and utility costs are estimated at $19 million. Arua Municipality MP Gabriel Aridu, who is the junior minister designate for investment, lauded the initiative, stressing transparency and strict enforcement for successful implementation. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, the DRC has revised plans to build the Inga 3 hydropower plant in order to account for the provision of 2,500 megawatts of energy to southern African countries. The government intends a hydropower plant located to the west of the country at the world's largest waterfall, Inga Falls, to produce 4,000 megawatts of energy in total, of which 2,500 may be provided to Botswana, Namibia and South Africa. It is estimated that construction of such a plant will cost over $9 billion, with the government set to discuss 3 received bids with applicants next month. A member of the Inga 3 steering committee, Vika Di Panzu, said construction is expected to start in 2016 once negotiations and details are finalized. The country is pressing to move forward on the project, with Di Panzu saying that the committee will consider final feasibility studies from the 3 bidding teams next month. He revealed that teams vying for the contract include a partnership between China's Three Gorges Corporation and Sino Hydro. A second group sees Korean companies Daewoo and POSCO team up with Canadian SNC and Loveland Group, with a third and final bid coming from a Spanish pairing of ACS and the Eurofina Group. And now we conclude our bulletin in South Africa, where Western Cape Finance, Economic Development and Tourism Minister Alan Winde has visited the construction site of what will soon be Cape Town's tallest skyscraper to highlight the return of the province's construction sector onto a growth trajectory. Once complete, the portside building will stand 141 meters tall and comprise of 32 floors. The 6,000-meter site in the city centre was originally purchased by Old Mutual Property 20 years ago. Work on the $116.7 million project began in August 2011 and is scheduled for completion in March of 2014. The building has been designed by DHK and Louis Carroll Architects and is being built by Murray & Roberts. The project is a joint initiative between Old Mutual and First Rand Bank, and once completed will house the provincial headquarters of First Rand Bank's 3 divisions, FNB, Rand Merchant Bank and West Bank, in half of the 50,000 meters squared available office space. The remaining 25,000 meters squared office space will be let out by Old Mutual Property, with there being additional retail space at ground level available for lease. Besides 7 car parking areas, the portside development will also boast space for 268 bicycles within the building, with additional areas for bicycle parking on the outside. Old Mutual Property Development Manager Mitchell Dutoit said the mandate from Old Mutual and First Rand Bank has been at the minimum to build a 4-star Green Star SA office rated building for both the design and construction as build rating, though they are aiming higher if possible. Meanwhile, Wynne said during the visit that the Western Cape construction sector was hit hard during the downturn, but that prospects were looking up. Thank you for choosing to watch Construction Review News. More news, a digital version of our print edition, a directory and much more on the construction industry in Africa is available to you at www.constructionreviewonline.com. Until next week, I'm James Morrow.